Hydration hacking has become one of the biggest wellness buzzwords of the year, fueled by influencers shaking neon-colored electrolyte mixes into every bottle of water and claiming it's the secret to clearer skin, better focus, improved workouts, and even emotional balance. What started as a performance tool for athletes has now become a lifestyle accessory for people who barely break a sweat in their daily routines. The trend promises more energy and better hydration, but it also distorts the real science of fluids and electrolytes, and introduces risks that are rarely acknowledged in the frantic marketing push. Electrolyte powders surged in popularity for a reason. They do serve a real purpose for people who lose large amounts of fluid and minerals through intense exercise, long-distance running, hot environments, or illness. When the body sweats heavily, it loses sodium, potassium, magnesium, and chloride, minerals essential for nerve conduction, muscle contractions, and maintaining fluid balance. Replacing them can prevent cramps, dizziness, or dehydration. The problem is that this context gets lost when powders jump from sports medicine to everyday life. Someone sitting at a desk all day or taking a short walk does not need the same electrolyte load as someone completing a 2-hour trail run in 95-degree heat. But TikTok, Instagram, and supplement brands have a different message. Everyone should be adding electrolytes to stay optimized, even if there's no physiological reason for it. The marketing push works because it plays on people's deeper insecurities, feeling tired, sluggish, unfocused, or bloated. Instead of encouraging people to look at sleep, stress, overall diet quality, caffeine intake, or screen time, the trend redirects attention toward packets of flavored powder that promise the sensation of immediate improvement. And because the powders taste good, people assume they must be doing something productive. In reality, many of these products contain high amounts of sodium, sugar alcohols, or stimulants, and they can mislead people into thinking their hydration is automatically superior when they might simply be consuming flavored water with added stress on their kidneys. Overconsumption is one of the biggest and least discussed risks. Electrolytes are not harmless just because they dissolve in water. Excessive sodium from daily electrolyte drinks can raise blood pressure in salt-sensitive individuals and contribute to long-term cardiovascular strain. Too much potassium can cause irregular heart rhythms, especially for people on certain medications. Magnesium in supplement form can trigger diarrhea, nausea, or stomach cramps. The body is designed to maintain very tight control over electrolyte levels, and throwing large supplemental doses into the mix when they aren't needed forces the kidneys into constant correction mode. This may not cause immediate symptoms, but it can create unnecessary physiological stress, especially for older adults, pregnant individuals, teens, or anyone with undiagnosed kidney issues. Another problem is how the trend distorts people's perception of water itself. Plain water is still the gold standard for everyday hydration. Most people do not need additives to absorb or retain water effectively. Unless you're working in extreme heat, exercising intensely, or ill with vomiting or diarrhea, regular water maintains hydration perfectly well. Electrolyte powders don't open hydration pathways, supercharge absorption, or hack cellular osmosis, phrases influencers toss around without understanding. The body's hydration system evolved over millions of years without the need for artificial enhancement, and layering supplements onto every cup often confuses biological signals more than it supports them. The psychological side of the trend is also concerning. The more people rely on flavored electrolyte mixes, the more plain water starts to feel boring, inadequate, or even unpleasant. This can subtly condition people to think hydration always requires a product, turning a basic human need into another consumer-driven behavior. It also reinforces an unhealthy mindset where wellness feels like a series of add-ons rather than the result of simple, sustainable habits. Hydration should not be complicated, but hydration hacking sells the idea that normal water is not enough, pushing people to spend money on powders they don't need and creating unnecessary anxiety about optimal performance. For teens and young adults, the risks are amplified. They're already navigating caffeine-heavy diets, energy drinks, chronic stress, and inconsistent sleep schedules. Adding daily electrolyte supplements, often at doses designed for endurance athletes, layers on extra sodium, stimulants, and artificial ingredients their bodies do not need. Because young people rarely feel early symptoms of electrolyte imbalances, they assume the habit is harmless. But small imbalances over time can affect muscle function, heart rhythm, hydration cues, and even mental clarity. And for individuals with medical conditions like hypertension, kidney disease, or adrenal disorders, even mild electrolyte overexposure can be risky. At its core, the craze for hydration hacking reflects a broader problem in wellness culture, a constant search for something to fix, boost, or enhance, even when the simplest solution is perfectly adequate. Electrolyte powders absolutely have their place during long workouts, outdoor labor, heat exposure, or illness. But when they become a daily ritual for people whose bodies aren't losing electrolytes in the first place, the risks start to outweigh the benefits. Plain water has served humanity well for centuries. The idea that it suddenly needs to be optimized is less a scientific truth and more a marketing strategy disguised as health advice. The bottom line is that hydration does not need to be hacked. For most people, drinking water regularly, eating a balanced diet with natural sources of minerals, and listening to thirst cues will support the body far better than a trendy packet of electrolyte powder. The danger isn't in the powders themselves, it's in the assumption that more is always better and that hydration needs constant upgrading. In many cases, the simplest option is still the safest one.